You know that feeling when you're nervous and excited at the same time? Starting a movie? Yeah, it's like that times 10. This is episode 2 of Drawn Like Vlogs. What's good, y'all? This is Joe Fredrickson here, writer and director of Drawn Like Moths. Welcome to episode 2. Movies take money to make. I don't think I'm saying anything too crazy here. Today we're going to be talking about budgets. Drawn Like Moths always had the budget in mind. I was a fan of Kevin Smith, and he talked very highly of Robert Rodriguez and an article that he had read in getting prepared for Clerks. Robert Rodriguez took stock in all of the items that he had, and he knew what he could film a movie with for very cheap. Drawn Like Moths was prepared and written with this in mind. I went in and tried to come up with as many locations that were going to be accessible without having to pay rental fees, places that would be accessible to the public or even like private properties of friends or family. It's a lot of effort to get to a location and set up. So once you're there, you want to make sure that you get the most out of that. And having a bunch of scenes take place at one location on one day, that would cut down on travel time and scheduling the actors and make sure that we're really getting a lot out of one location. I really wanted to keep it light with the actors so that the days when we were scheduling, they wouldn't be so in depth in trying to get all these schedules to overlap, making it easier for us to film. I started off the preparation by making a bunch of lists. I went through the script multiple times, searching for different elements, locations, props, effects, and this was both visual effects and practical effects, stunts, wardrobe. Finally was the characters of the movie. After putting this list together, it gave me the perspective on what it was going to take financially to make this movie happen. Which brings us to funding. Fund it. So I figured I had two options. There was crowdfunding or there was private funding. Everybody knows the crowdfunding sites and what comes with them, and it can be a very viable way to make a movie. Unfortunately, I don't have any movies or shows, so finding a crowd to fund this felt like an uphill battle. Not to say that it's impossible, so I put quite a bit of my own money up. I didn't quite have as much money as I projected I would need for this, so I went to my dad with a plan. I showed him what I prepared. Over 6 months in 2017, I had storyboarded each scene on individual note cards. I took all these note cards and I scanned them into the computer, and I put them into Sony Vegas, and I made it into the first version of Drawn Like Moths. I got to show my dad the first version without ever having filmed an actor. I said, this is what I have envisioned. I'm really dedicated to making this movie, and I have the opportunity to film it. My dad said, let me get back to you, and I waited. I waited for days, until finally he called me and he said, let's make a movie.
Speaking of those storyboards, I think it was back in like September, out of the blue, Joe just hit me up online and said, hey Tony, check this out. And I clicked on the video, and before I knew it, I just started seeing this storyboard animatic of the whole movie play out with Joe's like really deep voice like this.
We need to get a camp established quickly before it gets dark. Seth throws his cell phone at him. There's a knock at the door.
And I was just like, whoa, that's quite the commitment to storyboard and voice and edit the whole movie. I was pretty blown away. That's one step in the pre-production process that has been taken care of, so Joe has made it that much easier for us to proceed with the movie.
I think it was really important to make sure that the funding was there for this movie before anybody else was brought on. And now that we had the funding secured, it was time to cast Drawn Like Moths. On to the auditions. Thanks for watching, y'all. I am Joe Fredrickson. Please subscribe to Drawn Like Moths, and I'll see you next time.